friends, how's it going? My name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing another book haul because it's been a little bit over a month since the last book haul that I filmed, and ever since then I have acquired so many books. I usually do try to make these book haul videos maybe like every 6 weeks because I'm always amazed at how quickly the books start adding up. It's quite a bit, so let's jump right into it. The first 5 books all actually came from Book of the Month. Some of these books were sent to me in videos that I did with Book of the Month, but then some of these I also bought myself as a customer. 2 of the ones that I bought myself included Murder Road by Simone St. James as well as Listen for the Lie, and I bought both of these specifically because they both ended up being BookTube book club picks for this year. We actually ended up just reading Murder Road by Simone St. James in the month of April, so I will have the live show linked down below if you missed it. It was with my friends Gavin and Katie, and it was so much fun. Even though none of us really ended up loving this one very much, it was kind of devastating. But it was a really fun live show, and then Listen for the Lie is actually the upcoming June BookTube pick, and I'm very excited to read this one because all I know is that it's a thriller that involves some kind of like podcast. It involves these young girls who grew up in a small Texas town, and then one of the girls got accused of like murdering the other one, like her best friend. It just sounds like it's gonna be a fun time, so I'm really glad Book of the Month had this one as a selection. And then another one that I recently picked up from Book of the Month is The Women by Kristen Hanna, because Kristen Hanna is an author that I really love. When it comes to historical fiction, like I personally don't read a lot of historical fiction, but if there's anyone who could make me read and enjoy historical fiction, it's Kristen Hanna. And this is one that I'm actually gonna be reading very soon. I'm gonna be reading this one this month for my Patreon. I'm gonna be doing like a dedicated reading vlog to this book that includes like spoilers and everything. I'm sure I'm gonna cry. I'm sure it's gonna make me emotional. Most of Kristen Hanna's books do that to me. And then some other books that I picked up from Book of the Month recently include How to End a Love Story as well as Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is a book that I just recently read in April. I actually read it in a reading vlog, and this might very well be my favorite romance book that I've read this year. Like I loved this so freaking much. This is definitely like my new favorite from Abby Jimenez. Like it's definitely one of my top favorite romances that I've ever read. I just really connected with it, and this one made me cry a lot. Like I swear I was crying throughout like the second half of this book. It was just so freaking good, so I highly recommend checking this one out. And then I also picked up How to End a Love Story, which I was planning to read this soon because I am very excited about this one. But if you follow Reese Witherspoon's book club recently, you might have noticed that this was actually her book club selection for the month of May. So now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like maybe I'll have to read this and do another video of like reading Reese's recommendations. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on Reese Witherspoon's upcoming months of recommendations, because you know I am trying to do the video series. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm trying to do that video series this year where I like read Reese Witherspoon's book club selections, and so now this is definitely a contender for that. And then before we do jump into the rest of the book haul, I just wanted to thank Curology for sponsoring today's video. Curology is a new sponsor on this channel, and I'm so excited to be working with them. My skin before starting with Curology has been very excessively dry. I was talking about this earlier this year, how I have such a dry spot right in between my eyebrows on my forehead, and I don't know what it is about this year, but I've noticed that my skin has been more dry than ever, so I knew this year was the year that I had to get serious about having a skincare routine. And that's where I think Curology really comes in handy for me, because I'm someone who literally knows next to nothing about a skincare routine. Like I don't know what's good for my skin. Curology makes it so easy because they have a skin quiz you can take when you sign up, and the quiz is designed to really understand your skincare concerns and learn more about your skincare history and to help you achieve your goals. Because when you're trying to figure out a skincare routine that works for you, there can be many different things that you're trying to do, like clearing up your acne or fighting wrinkles or treating rosacea. Curology is great because you can skip the dermatologist's office and get the prescription for your skincare needs. And it's really simple because after the Curology quiz, you'll just submit pictures of your skin that will be looked at by a real human who is a dermatology provider. I love that with Curology, they set you up so that you have everything that you need for your skincare routine. You start with the Gentle Cleanser, and this one is a lightly foaming face wash, and this one is designed with gentle ingredients to be suitable for all skin types. This one washes off all that dirt or anything that might be on your face that you don't want on your face. But then this is where I think Curology becomes especially unique and especially awesome, because they have a custom formula that is specifically for you based off of your needs, based off the quiz feedback and the different photos that they look at of your skin. I feel like there are so many different like trendy skincare products out there that it can be hard to know what will work for your skin specifically, and that's where I think the custom formula is amazing because it is designed with my skin in mind. And then of course we also do have the Rich Moisturizer, which will go on after that, and this just helps to moisturize your skin. I really like this moisturizer too, especially compared to some of the other ones that I've been trying recently, because this one feels very light on my face. It also gives me a lot of peace of mind to know that if anything does change with my skin, I can always message my dermatology provider to figure out what I need for my skin at any time. So start your Curology journey today. I'll have the link down in the description if you want want to use it. And thank you so much to Curology for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get back to the book haul. All right, next up for this book haul, I have 8 different books that were sent to me by Atria Books. Dude, the selections lately that Atria Books has been having recently, like, oh my gosh, I am so excited for so many of these books. One of the books that they recently sent me is Lost Man's Lane by Scott Carson. And this is a new horror book that I've been very excited about because Scott Carson is the same author as Where They Wait. And then also that book, The Chill, even though The Chill didn't end up working out for me, I think that one I DNF'd, but Where They Wait was a book that I really enjoyed the writing. And this one, it sounds like it's gonna be really incredible. I love this cover. It's so weird because this one seems like it's about this guy who's like a young police officer, I think, or like a young detective. And it says, when a young woman goes missing in his small town, the investigation hinges on his haunting sighting of her crying in the back of a police car driven by a cop named Maddox. There's only one problem. No local cop named Maddox exists. So like, what the heck does that mean? I don't even know, but it says that this is comparable to like Stephen King and Dean Koontz. So I'm like, okay, Scott Carson, we will see about that. Another book they recently sent is A Better World. This is another kind of like mystery thriller. I think this one might lean a little bit more contemporary, but it's definitely like a mystery thriller that takes place in a small town. This one has such a gorgeous cover. Like, I am obsessed with the sky on this cover. This one just says it's a cunning, outside-the-box satirical thriller about a family's odyssey into an exclusive enclave for the wealthy that might not be as ideal as it seems. It sounds like it's gonna be a fun time. I actually haven't read anything by this author yet. I know this is the same author as Good Neighbors, and that was one that I never got around to reading. So I hope that this one's gonna be enjoyable. I really love the setting of this, like in a small town suburban neighborhood. I do love thrillers that tend to have that kind of setting. And then they also sent The Unraveling by Vi Keeland, and this one's actually an ARC copy. This one goes on sale July 9th, but this is an ARC that I am so freaking excited about. Like, I'm so curious to read this because if you didn't know, Vi Keeland, she's actually a really popular romance author, and I've read a few of her romance books. I enjoyed some and then I didn't care for some of her other stuff, but I'm so curious because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is actually her first attempt at writing more of a thriller. I do think this one leans into more like of a romantic thriller, but I'm still so excited to give this one a shot. I don't know anything about this book other than what it says on the back here, but it says this isn't a love story. It's a story about obsession. You'll assume you know who the object of the obsession is. The psychiatrist concealing the twisted connection she has to her patient, or maybe her patient isn't as innocent as he seems, but more than one person hides a secret, and to what length will desire and grief drive a person? It sounds like it's gonna be a fun time. I don't know. And this paperback, dude, it's so floppy. We love a floppy paperback, don't we? I'm just hoping that this book is one of those thrillers that's just like a really fast-paced read, like a fun time, easy to fly through. Like, I could really use something like that right now. They also sent me, oh my gosh, look at this. It's I Need to Know You Read This. And this is another ARC copy. This one actually goes on sale August 13th. Oh my gosh. This is so advanced. This is another mystery thriller that I am so excited about because it's the same author as The Golden Spoon. And even though I wasn't the biggest fan of The Golden Spoon, I am very, very intrigued by this. And this is a story that I don't really know anything about it, to be honest, but I do know that it takes place in New York City. It says, set among the glittering lights of New York City, I need you to read this is the gripping, suspenseful story of a young woman whose new job, her dream job, may just be her last. Okay, sign me up. That's all I need to know. It just looks like it's gonna have great vibes. I don't really know if this is gonna have the same kind of style as The Golden Spoon. Like, is it gonna be cozy, kind of like that book is, like more of a cozy mystery vibe? I don't know. This one's also like not very long. It's only 286 pages and we got another floppy paperback. I am here for the floppy paperbacks, okay? And then another ARC that I recently got from Atria is this one, My Mother Cursed My Name. And this one is an ARC that's going on sale July 30th. I think this one leans more into the genre of like literary fiction, maybe even like contemporary fiction. It says 3 generations of fiercely strong and stubborn Mexican-American women face grief head-on as they attempt to shed generational trauma and discover the true meaning of home in this lyrically magical novel. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be like a touch of magic in this as well. Oh, this one sounds like it might hit me emotionally. Like, this one sounds like it could be a winner. And if you didn't know this about me, my grandma was actually full Mexican. I am a quarter Mexican, so I feel like books like this that are about like generations of, you know, women that are Mexican, I feel like this might just really hit close to home for me. So this sounds like it's gonna be absolutely incredible. I can't wait to read it. I really do love the cover too. I love this pink. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then the next thing that Atria sent is a romance book that, like, dude, I don't even know why I'm so excited about this, but I'm so excited. It's called Unsteady. Is this not like the cutest cover that you've ever seen in your life? Like, I don't know why I'm so drawn to this. Is it because I love the color blue and like I love these little drawn figure skates and the way like her headphones are connected in the little phone and the ice hockey puck? Like, I don't know what it is about this cover, but I'm here. This just looks like it could be the romance of my dreams, and like maybe I'm hyping it up too much much in my head when I don't really know what it's about, but like, it's so cute. So this one says we're following a character named Sadie Brown. It says she's staying focused this semester no matter what, currently drowning in debt, custody hearings for her younger brothers, and skating practices. She's just trying to make it to the next day. And she's a freaking figure skater. Like, that is so cool. I keep talking about how I want to read more about like figure skating because I love figure skating, and I think that's such a cool thing to read about. So like, I really hope this book delivers on that. And then it says the guy, like the love interest that we're following in this book, he's the hockey captain at Waterfell University. So I think they're going to the same college, and he's like the captain of the hockey team, which like, oh my gosh, amazing. But it says plagued by nightmares and panic attacks every time he attempts to skate, he wonders if he'll ever play again or if he'll ever even want to. And then they find themselves drawn to each other. It sounds like both of these characters are dealing with like a lot in their lives and like trauma on top of like everything else. So it feels like this has the potential to be like a really deep romance, which is definitely something that I would love to read. Like a figure skater and an ice hockey captain, and they both have some like really deep shit going on in their lives. Like, I would love to read this. I can't wait. I'm also excited because in this, the publisher sent this cute little drawing of them in this book. And it's so cute because on the back of this drawing, there's a little playlist of like songs for this book. And one of the songs on this freaking playlist is Taylor Swift, This Is Me Trying, which is one of my all-time favorite Taylor Swift songs. Like, it's my favorite song on Folklore. And so like that right there gives me enough hope that like this is going to be a new favorite book. I can just feel it right now. This is going to be a 5-star romance. Can we feel it? I'm putting that energy into the universe because I'm hoping that it delivers. Okay, I have 2 more books from Atria. Dude, Atria is freaking killing it this year. Okay, one of the ones I got is The Chamber by Will Dean. And this is an arc that I have. This one's also going on sale August 6th. Wow, like that is so advanced, but this is one that I'm so excited about because Will Dean is the same author as the last one, which is a thriller that I read last summer that I really loved. It was about the girl that was like on the boat by herself. That was one that I really enjoyed, and so I'm just so excited to check out another book from Will Dean. This one sounds so cool. It says, and then there were none meets The Last Breath in this tense and suspenseful locked room thriller that takes place inside a hyperbaric chamber. I don't even know, dude. Will Dean has such wild ideas. I'm here for it. I'm sure that this premise is going to give away absolutely nothing because I feel like that's what the last one did, and I loved that about it. Like, I loved that I went into the book knowing absolutely nothing, so I'm going to try to do the same with this one. Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait to read it. And then, okay, I saved the best for last, in my opinion, because this is the one that I'm the most excited about personally, and I am so torn whether I want to like drop everything and read this immediately or if I want to try and like save this book as a potential book troop pick for later this year because that's how excited I am for this. But they sent me a copy of We Used to Live Here, and this one's going on sale June 18th, so it is coming out somewhat soon. But dude, I'm so excited for this. Like, yes, there's a good chance that I could be overhyping this for myself and in my head, but literally listen to this premise. The Turn of the Key meets Parasite. Okay, full stop. Full stop. What do you mean? The Turn of the Key meets Parasite? You mean one of my all-time favorite thrillers and literally one of my all-time favorite movies? Parasite is in my top 4 on Letterboxd. Like, I love Parasite. Parasite is like one of my favorite movies of all time in existence. What do you mean The Turn of the Key meets Parasite? So like, just that alone right there could be overhyping it for me, but like, oh my god, I'm so excited. It says, in this eerily haunting debut and Reddit hit, soon to be a Netflix original movie starring Blake Lively. Like, it's already got the movie rights. Like, okay, this is already happening. It says this is about 2 homeowners whose lives are turned upside down when the house's previous residents unexpectedly visit. Oh my god, I love it. I love that trope. I'm here. It sounds incredible. It's literally We Used to Live Here, so like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm so excited. I don't even want to read the full premise because I don't want to know. Like, this is definitely one of my most anticipated books of the year, so like, I can only hope that it lives up to all of this hype in my head, but like, I don't know. Just like, do I read it now? Do I save it for a book troop pick in like September maybe? Like, I don't know. All right, next up for this book haul, I recently received 4 books from Penguin Random House. 2 of the ones that I received are actually some poetry collections. One of them is called Instructions for Traveling West, and then I also have Falling Back in Love with Being Human, and these are both some poetry collections that I requested from them because I recently hosted a readathon called The Tortured Readers Department with my friend Lexi, and during that week we were going to be reading some poetry, you know, because it's like the Tortured Poets Department, hello. And so during that week I was only able to get to the 1 poetry collection, and this one ended up being okay for me. It was around 3 stars, but I still enjoyed it for the most part, and I do love reading poetry. Like, there's just something about it. It feels very inspiring to me, and so this one ended up being a fun time, but I still do have Falling Back in Love with Being Human, and this is one that I'm really interested to read because the author is a Chinese-Canadian transgender girl, and so I'm really curious about this one. I'm hoping to read this one soon. This one is so cute. cute. I'm obsessed with the size of this poetry collection. And again, like there's just something so inspiring to me about reading poetry. I really want to try and make more time to read poetry regularly again, because I feel like reading poetry is something I used to do a lot more than I currently do. And then they also sent me The Gathering by CJ Tudor. This one, from what I know, it's like a mystery thriller horror book. And you know, CJ Tudor is such a hit or miss author for me, you know, because last year CJ Tudor came out with The Drift, and like for me, that was a 1-star book. Like I really did not like The Drift, but CJ Tudor has written some of my favorite thrillers. Like I loved The Chalkman, I loved The Burning Girls, and this one sounds so good. It says a detective investigating a grisly crime in Alaska finds herself caught up in the dark secrets and superstitions of a small town. I've also heard this one might have like some vampire vibes or something like that. I don't really know. I'm literally gonna plan to read this one very soon. I think I'm gonna read it next week for a reading vlog that I'm doing. I just can't wait. Oh my god, I really hope this one's a win for me. And then they also sent Safe and Sound, which this one is another thriller that sounds like it's gonna be so interesting. It says 6 years after their cousin vanished from their home while they were sleeping, 2 sisters set out to learn the truth behind what happened, even if it puts their own lives in danger. See, this one sounds like it's gonna be a good time because I do love thrillers that have like sisters in them, like, or any books in general that have like a good sister relationship at the center of the story. I tend to enjoy that. I also feel like this one might give good like woods atmosphere. Like I'm just guessing based off the cover here, but this cover is definitely giving me all of the vibes that I'm looking for in a thriller. So hopefully this one ends up being a good time. It looks like it's gonna be a good time. All right, and then from Berkeley Romance, I recently got sent 2 of their romance books. One of them is called The Kiss Countdown. Dude, is this not so cute? Okay, I'm a sucker for like anything astronauts or like space, anything like that. Like I am a hoe for space. And this one just looks like it's gonna be so cute and deliver on like a lot of romance things that I enjoy, because it says a struggling event planner and a sinfully hot astronaut must decide if their fake relationship is worth a shot at a happily ever after in this starry debut. Don't even tell me that. Don't even tell me that this involves fake dating as well. I just love that. I love that about this. Like give me an astronaut and give me fake dating. This has the potential to be a new favorite. I can just feel it. So I'm hoping to read this one sooner rather than later. And also like I'm obsessed with this cover. Like can we bring bright pink back to publishing? Like I love a bright pink book cover. I just love it. And then the second book that Berkeley Romance ended up sending me is this one here called Looking for Love in All of the Haunted Places. And this is by Claire Can. And if you didn't know, Claire Can is the author of The Romantic Agenda, which is one of my favorite romance books. And so I'm very excited and very curious to read this. Isn't it so cute how much purple is on this cover? In this story, we're following this girl named Lucky Heart, and it says that she has a special affinity for the supernatural. And then I think this one takes place in like some kind of haunted house where like a lot of people think that this house is haunted, and she goes to like investigate. It says after scheming her way onto the show to investigate, Lucky meets Maverick Phillips. And then it also involves like this spooky haunted house. Like I don't know, it sounds like it either could really be my thing or could really not be my thing. I feel like sometimes when I read romance books like this where the protagonist has like some kind of supernatural like connection or supernatural ability, I can either think it's like kind of cute and quirky, or I can find it like really annoying. So like we'll see how this one goes. But because it's Claire Can, the author of one of my other favorite romance books, I have some high hopes for this one. I think it looks cute. All right, and then next up, Doubleday Books ended up sending me 2 different books. One of the ones they sent is Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan, which this is one that I'm excited to read because this is the same author as Crazy Rich Asians, which like, no, I haven't actually read the book Crazy Rich Asians, but I loved the movie. Like I love that movie so freaking much. And so when this one got announced, this one actually just came out in the month of May, I was just really excited about it, and I thought this cover looked so freaking gorgeous. And this one just says a forbidden affair erupts volcanically amid a decadent Hawaiian wedding in this outrageous comedy of manners. Something that especially sold me on Lies and Weddings is that it came with this little card that's supposed to be like a little wedding invitation, which I think is so cute. But on the little blurb, on the little invitation, it says, imagine Crazy Rich Asians meets Saltburn and you've got Lies and Weddings. And I'm like, oh my god, wait, what? Like Saltburn, that's like also one of my favorite movies ever. So like for them to compare this to Crazy Rich Asians and Saltburn, I mean, sign me up. Like I am here. And then they also ended up sending this very special edition of Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, and I thought this was so cool because Lessons in Chemistry actually ended up being one of my favorite books that I read last year. Like I really freaking love it. It's a book that's more like leaning on the historical fiction side, which is usually not something that I gravitate towards, but Lessons in Chemistry, oh my god, it's such an iconic story. We're following this woman named Elizabeth Zott, and she's a chemist, and then she ends up working on this show called Lessons in Chemistry that's kind of like a cooking show. It is such a good book. It has such great characters. It has such amazing like feminist storylines and like feminist themes and messages throughout the book. Like I just really loved it personally, and this new edition is so cool. Look at not only this cover, but then look at how cool the spine looks, look at how cool the back looks, and then there's also freaking sprayed edges. Like look at the inside. Like this is absolutely stunning. And the back too has like a different color on here. I also love books like this that like there's no dust jacket on this. It's just printed directly onto the book. Like this is so cool. So like huge thank you to Doubleday for sending this my way because this is one of my favorite books and it's really cool to own an exclusive like really cool edition like this. All right, the next 3 books that I recently got all came from Dutton books. One of the ones they sent is actually a finished copy of You Know What You Did. This is a mystery thriller that I've been really intrigued by recently. I know Kayla over from Books and Lala, she actually announced this as her Literally Dead book club pick for either this month or for next month, I can't remember. But that has me even more excited to pick up this one very soon. This one just says, in this heart-pounding debut thriller, a first-generation Vietnamese American artist must confront nightmares past and present. I have heard from some friends that this one is a bit more of a slow burn mystery, that it's like a slow moving, kind of more character-driven story, and I've also heard, I believe, that this character has OCD in this book, and I've heard from some people that the OCD representation is very well done. So I am very curious and very intrigued to read this one, so I'm so glad I got a copy. They also sent this one called Cinema Love, and oh my gosh, dude, there's something about this cover. I'm really drawn to it. Maybe it's the blue. I don't know, but I love the title Cinema Love too. Oh my god, I think that's so cute. I think this one is more of a like literary fiction, maybe like contemporary fiction style of writing in this. It just says this one is a staggering, tender epic about gay men in China and the women who marry them. It just sounds so interesting. It says we're following these 2 characters who are living in Chinatown in New York City. There was like this movie theater that existed. I think it's saying that it existed in China where these closeted men could go to find other gay men at this specific movie theater. But then it's saying, but when Old Second's passion for his male lover is revealed, a series of haunting events unfold, propelling these characters towards an uncertain future in America. And it says spanning 3 different timelines, we get post-socialist China, 1980s Chinatown, and contemporary New York. Cinema Love is an unforgettable epic about men and women who find themselves in forbidden relationships, the weight of secrets, and the way memory forever haunts the present. It just sounds so beautiful, and I love stories like this that are like about forbidden love over different time periods. I think that's really intriguing, so I really can't wait to read this one. And then Dutton also ended up sending me a copy of Love is a Burning Thing, and this one's actually a memoir. And this one just says it's a riveting memoir about a daughter's investigation into the wirings of her loving, unpredictable mother, a woman who lived her life in pursuit of the divine and who started 2 big fires decades apart. It sounds like it's gonna be really beautiful and possibly very hard-hitting, but I do tend to love memoirs that are specifically kind of about like mother-daughter relationships. Just for example, Crying in H Mart is like one of my favorite nonfiction books that I've ever read, and because I'm trying to get more into nonfiction books this year, I thought this one might be a really good one to pick up, so I decided to pick it up, so thank you to Dutton for sending me this one. And then some other books that I recently got sent, one of them came from Penguin Books, and this one is You'd Look Better as a Ghost, and this one actually just went on sale in April, so it is currently available. This one does look like it's like a mystery thriller book that might have a bit of satire in it. Like it sounds like it might be kind of funny as well, because this one says, I have a gift. I see people as ghosts before they die. Of course it helps that I'm the one killing them. So it seems like in this story we're following a female serial killer who can also like see people as ghosts. And then it says too, like there's somebody blackmailing her, and so she's trying to like kill the person who's blackmailing her before they reveal her secrets. I don't know, it sounds like it could be a really interesting time, so I can't wait to read this. This cover is so green. And then Wednesday Books ended up sending me a copy of The Perfect Guy Doesn't Exist, which I'm so excited for this. This one's actually a young adult kind of like romance book, which I know young adult can be so hit or miss for me these days, but when I heard the premise of this one, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to check out this book, because the premise of this, like low-key, it kind of sounds like Fangirl a little bit, which if you didn't know, like Fangirl is like literally one of my favorite books of all time. Fangirl is like my most reread book ever. I think I've read Fangirl like 5 times now. But this one says a fanfic writer brings her favorite TV character to life in this friends to enemies to lovers novel full of heart and humor. Like, what do you mean she brings him to life? And she's a fanfic writer? I just think that's so cute, because fanfic writing is something that I definitely used to do a lot of when I was a teenager. And so I feel like maybe this could be one that I would really relate to. And so for those reasons, I am so excited to read this one. I think it looks so cute. And then next up, Minotaur Books ended up sending me a copy of If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay. This one is a thriller that actually is going on sale in the month of May. So this one is going to be available very soon if it's not already available. But this is a thriller that I actually recently just read for a reading vlog that I did. And I actually ended up liking this one a lot. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I had a really fun time with it. And in this story, we're following this guy named Ryan who, like, back when he was in high high school. He was living in this small town in Kansas. There was a night where him and his girlfriend were like getting freaky in the car, and then like he got a blow to the head, like he got knocked out. He doesn't remember what happened, but when he woke up, the car and his girlfriend were gone and they never were able to find them. And now it's taking place 5 years later, and he's in Italy on this kind of like work trip when they call from the small town in Kansas, and they said that his girlfriend's car was found, and in the car they find a note that was said, if something happens to me. And he knows that there was like some foul play. He also thinks like while he's in Italy that he sees this guy that looks kind of familiar, like he could have been the one that did something to them on that night. And it is just a very fast-paced thriller. We get multiple perspectives, we get really short chapters. It is one of those books that you can literally fly through in like 1 or 2 sittings. I thought it was a really fun time, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I would highly recommend checking this one out. I thought it was great. And then Mulholland Books ended up sending me a copy of Missing White Woman by Kelly Garrett. And this is one that I'm so excited about because I haven't actually read a book from this author yet. This is the same author as that book called Like a Sister, but I think that was one that I ended up DNFing pretty early on. But this one sounds like it's going to be really interesting because this one says it was supposed to be a romantic getaway weekend in New York City. So once again, we have another book taking place in New York. Do you see a trend here? I love that there are so many books lately that are getting published that's like taking place in New York. I think that's so fun. It says Brianna's new boyfriend, Ty, took care of everything, the train tickets, the dinner reservations. They have a beautiful view of the Manhattan skyline, but when Bri comes downstairs on their final morning, she's shocked. There's a stranger lying dead in the foyer and Ty is nowhere to be found. A black woman alone in a new city, Bri is stranded and out of her depth, especially when it becomes clear that the dead woman is none other than Janelle Beckett, a missing white woman the entire internet has become obsessed with. Oh my gosh, it just sounds like it's gonna be so intense, so I cannot wait to read this one. And then some of the other books that I've hauled recently that were sent to me came off my Amazon wishlist, which is so freaking kind, like so freaking generous and so kind. The first books came from my friend Claudia, Claudia is like the biggest freaking sweetheart. I've been talking to Claudia for like years now, and she's genuinely so freaking kind, such an amazing human. She's actually gonna be joining me on my Italy trip, so I'm so excited to meet her later this year. But she ended up sending me This Is How You Lose the Time War, which I'm so excited. This is a book that I've had on my TBR for literally for years now. All I know about this is that it's like a sapphic kind of like time travel type of story. It says Red and Blue, who are 2 rival agents hell-bent on securing the best possible future for their warring factions, strike up an unlikely correspondence. It says this is an epic love story spanning time and space, and like that sounds exactly like what it will be. I'm so excited. I've heard that this one is written in a way that's like very beautifully written. I've heard that like some of the language can be a little bit tough because it's so beautifully written, but I cannot wait. I've just been so excited. Like I've been wanting to read this book for years. So like thank you so much to Claudia. Then she also sent me, this is Cherry Magic Volume 1. And this is a manga that I've been so excited to check out ever since my friend Gavin recently did a video where he like read this entire series, and it just sounded like it was gonna be so cute. So I'm so glad that I'm gonna get the opportunity to read this one. And this one just sounds like it's so interesting and so unique because on the cover here it says 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard. And apparently this manga takes place in this universe where like if you turn 30 years old and you're still a virgin, then you get like magical powers and you can become a wizard apparently. Like I don't even know. It just sounds so cute. And this one's a male-male romance, and it involves one of the guys who becomes a wizard because he's still a virgin when he's 30, I think. It just sounds so cute, so weird, but like I'm here for it. It sounds like it'll be a fun time. So thank you so much to Claudia. I can't wait to read this one. And then the very lovely Sarah G, she ended up sending me 3 different books off my Amazon wishlist, which is so freaking kind of her. She ended up sending Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which I'm so excited about this. I actually did end up reading this book in a reading vlog that I've done recently, so I'll have it linked down below if you missed it. But Bride was such an interesting time. I feel like Ali Hazelwood is one of those romance authors that I always get really excited about her new releases, and like I always want to read anything that she comes out with. And this one was especially interesting for Ali Hazelwood, you know, because this was her first ever paranormal romance that involved some vampires. It involved some wares. Wares is what they call them, but they're werewolves. And this was very interesting. I ended up giving this one around 3 stars. Like it wasn't the perfect romance for me, but I can definitely see why a lot of people are really hyping this up. And I think if you typically enjoy paranormal romance, then I think you really could enjoy this one. And then she also sent me Killing Stalking volumes 4 and 5, which is so exciting because this is a series that I am currently really obsessed with. I don't even know how I would describe this series because it's not exactly like mystery thriller horror, but it's also not exactly like romance. It's kind of like dark romance. It's kind of like 2 characters that are very incredibly toxic. Like literally one of them is a killer, one of them is a stalker, and it is not always like a consensual thing. Like it's very, like the lines are very blurry with consent in this series, but there's just something about this series that keeps me coming back. Like I am just really obsessed with it. And I have read both volumes 4 and 5 now, and I'm just really still enjoying this series. So thank you so much to Sarah for sending me these. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to pick up volume 6 very soon because it just came out recently. And I'm just like, I'm so hooked. Like, I can't even explain why. And I don't even want to recommend these books to anybody because I don't want anybody to like read this and be like, oh my god, this is what you were recommending me. Like, if you read these books because of me, no, you didn't. And then very quickly, before I get on to all of the rest of the books that I bought myself this month, I thought I would show you a little library haul because again, I do think it's so important to use your local library because not only does it help you save money, but it also helps your community out, you know, it helps support your local community. And I think libraries are incredible. Like, I use my library so often. I'm there like at least once a week because I do think you'd be surprised by the amount of like things that you could get at your library. It's not just books either. Some of the books that I've recently hauled from my library include Spy Family Volume 11. And I'm so excited because Spy Family is one of my favorite manga series of all time. So I'm very excited to continue with Volume 11. I'm so surprised that my library gets these mangas like literally as soon as they're out. Like, this just came out earlier this year. And then they also had Stitches by Junji Ito. And this one's actually short stories by this other artist, but I think Junji Ito is the one who did the illustrations in this. But this is so cool. Like, oh my god, is this not the coolest book cover? Like, what the heck? That is so creepy. I love everything about this. But this one, what's so cool and what I didn't realize is that it's actually like a story. Like, there's a lot of text in here, but then there is different drawings that, like, I guess Junji Ito did all of the illustrations in this. And then there also is a manga that's included at the very end that's like a short story manga. So like, I'm so excited for this. And then one of the books that I recently hauled from my library is Moon of the Turning Leaves. And this one is actually the sequel to Moon of the Crusted Snow, which is a book that I read a number of years ago now. Oh wait, maybe I'm misinformed because on the inside flap here, it says, in this gripping standalone literary thriller set in the world of the apocalyptic novel Moon of the Crusted Snow, a scouting party led by Evan Whitesky ventures into unknown and dangerous territory to find a new home for their close-knit Northern Ontario Indigenous community more than a decade after a world-ending blackout. Oh, okay, I thought it was a sequel and it turns out it's just set in the same world, which is actually very cool because then I don't think you need to read Moon of the Crusted Snow in order to understand this, but like, oh my god, that is so cool. Wow, I'm so excited to read this one. I'm hoping that I'll get the chance to read this before it's due back to the library, but just in case I don't, it's cool to know that my library will have this one available for when the mood strikes to pick this up. But I'm so excited for this one because I love Moon of the Crusted Snow. I think I gave that one like 4 or 5 stars. All right, and then this last stack of books that I have are all books that I've bought for myself in these last couple of weeks. Some of these you might have seen in my recent book shopping vlog that I posted with my mom. I think that was last month in the month of April, so I won't spend too much time on these. But one of the books I picked up in that vlog was The Memory Police, which this is a book that came out in the 90s that I still haven't read, that I'm very excited to read. I still don't even fully understand like what genre this book is or what it's even about, but I've just been hearing such great things about this that I decided I wanted to pick it up and read it. It just says that powerful and provocative, The Memory Police is a stunning novel about the trauma of loss. And I think it's about like things going missing or like people going missing or something with memories. I don't really know, but I'm excited to check this one out. I also, during that vlog, I ended up picking up both True Crime Story and Murder in the Family. And these are 2 books that I actually recently just read in a thriller reading vlog that I posted where I read some thrillers with mixed media elements in them. I actually ended up DNFing this one pretty early on just because I couldn't actually stand the writing style in this. Like, I don't know, the mixed media was just there was a disconnect. I just couldn't get invested in the story with it. Whereas True Crime Story, I actually ended up liking quite a bit. And this one also has like the mixed media element where like the entire story is told in like interviews and like emails and different things like that, as well as I have some questions for you. And this one, from what I understand, I think this one is a mystery thriller as well, but I've heard that this one is a bit more of a slow burn. But this one, we follow this character who's a successful film professor and a podcaster. And then in that video, I also ended up picking up Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and this one is actually a young adult mystery thriller that I was really excited to read this one because it's the same author as Ace of Spades. And this is another one that I recently did end up reading for a reading vlog, so I can have that linked down below if you missed it. But this one ended up being a mostly good time. I think I gave this one around 3 to like 3.5 stars, but I don't think I liked this one as much as I liked Ace of Spades. And you know, young adult mystery thrillers can be very hit or miss for me in general. And then in that book shopping video, I also did pick up these 3 mangas because I found these at the half price books. I was so excited because this is Happiness volumes 2, 3, and 4. And this is a manga series that I'm currently really interested in reading. I read the first volume for that manga video that I did back in February this year, and I just really enjoyed it. It's like a manga series that's kind of about vampires, and it's from the same manga creator as Blood on the Tracks, which is like one of my favorite series of all time. So I'm so excited that I have another series, you know, from this author that I can obsess over. So I found volumes 2, 3, and 4 for only $6 each at the half price books. Like, I was so excited about this find, so I can't wait to read these. I'm probably gonna end up reading these very soon, like maybe even this month. I don't know. I can't wait. And then the last two books that I bought recently included Funny Story by Emily Henry, which this is a book that I bought literally the day that it came out. I drove down to my Barnes & Noble and I picked it up, and I did do an entire reading vlog just dedicated to this book over on my Patreon because I couldn't help myself. It's the new Emily Henry, you know, like I just get really excited about it. And this one was a 5-star book for me. Like this one is actually maybe my second favorite Emily Henry book after Book Lovers, and it was so much fun to vlog this entire experience. So if you wanted to see that vlog, I'll have it linked down below if you missed it. And then the final book that I bought recently is Diavala by Jennifer Thorne, and I bought this one because this is actually my May Book Troop book club pick, and I'm so excited to read this one because it's a horror novel. I think it's about this family that goes on vacation and then like something goes wrong. It's kind of like gothic vibes from what I've heard. I don't really know too much about this, to be honest, and I don't really want to know that much about it going in, but I'm so excited to be reading this for the book troop this month because it's a horror book. I feel like that's something a little different for us. It's kind of a scary looking cover too, and I think it's gonna be a good time. All right, so those are all of the books that I have hauled recently. I know, it was so many things. There are just so many books coming out recently that I am so excited about. Like there are so many from Atria. Atria has just been publishing book after book after book that I am just so excited about. But you'll have to let me know if you've read any of the books that I hauled in this video. Please do let me know what you think of them, and let me know if there are any books that you are dying to see my review of that I should prioritize, because I don't even know how to prioritize some of these books because there's so many good ones. I think very soon I'm going to be trying to read a handful of these for an upcoming reading vlog that I'm working on. So hopefully very soon you'll get some book reviews from me for some of these books. But yeah, how exciting. Wow, what a world. What a great year of books it's been. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!